When I think about us, think about you.
Hello. How is everybody this evening? Let's see. Mama B's place? I got you on this. Yes, we'll make that happen. D. Lynn, Roel, what's going on? Tom, my brother, what's going on? Hope you got a workout today. Ryan, what's going on? Ryan's on the ones and twos. Best audio guy I've ever met. Not even kidding. Love you, Ryan. He's the reason this mic works. How's everybody doing? Let's see. We are live. Hello. Mama Bear Meditations over on Instagram. Nikki Frazier. Jennifer, Jim Mack. What's going on, everybody, over on the Instagram? Thank you guys for hanging out tonight. Anybody new tonight? Any new faces? If so, let me know where you're from. Carter, happy Monday to you. Or Wednesday. Wednesday's better. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. We're nearing hump day this week. Carol, what's going on? Ivy and JC with Ivy. Ivy and JC with Ivy. It's Taco Tuesday for Ivy. I hope you've had a wonderful Tuesday. I know over there in JC, they had an event tonight. I heard it went amazing. Congrats to all involved. Huge shout out to the estheticians who are doing peels over there in Johnson City. New episode of the Common Sense MD went out today. If you have not heard, it's about fluoride. That is Dr. Susan Creech with Colonial Heights Dental Group over there in our neck of the woods in East Tennessee. Does a great job just giving the facts about fluoride. I thought it was a really, really interesting discussion that's kind of controversial and you know, there's a lot of different perspectives on fluoride, and I thought she did a great job of explaining, you know, fluoride's place in dental care, and she also talks about a very compelling alternative. I think it's called hydroxyapatite, if I remember correctly from the podcast. But super cool. You guys should check it out. It's you know, this is something that, you know, affects everybody. And it's really interesting, kind of the history of fluoride. She does a great job. Thank you, Dr. Creech, for doing that. Edna, what's up? Stan, what's going on? Great to see you guys. Thank y'all for hanging out. Jay Sim over on Instagram, thank you for hanging out. We're going to be taking live questions here shortly. Yeah, I agree, Roel. Yeah, really cool history, just, you know, how it became what it has become. So definitely check out that episode. We had another episode of Dive Into Diet go out today. Range of Motion with nutrition coach Lucas Schmidt. This is a part 2 episode. If you haven't checked out part 1, I see they're both short episodes, so check both of them out. He does a great job of just how to, you know, employ full range of motion in the gym. So thank you, Lucas, for doing that for us. And then over on Glow Up, esthetician Jasmine Allman, who's in our West Knoxville office, dispelled some myths around dermaplaning. Dermaplaning is super interesting, and it's not as simple as some think. So definitely check out that. Dermaplane is a kind of a foundational treatment in aesthetics. You know, male, female, you need to know about it. So check that out with Jasmine. Esty Bestie over there on Instagram. Jennifer, what's up? Debbie over in Australia. Good morning to you. What's going on? I see Adri Wonderland over on Instagram. Hello to you. Thank you for hanging out. All right, we're doing live questions here shortly. If you have questions for Dr. Rogers, go ahead and put them in the comments. Real quick for the team, let's put this up. If you haven't checked this out on the website, we are running a sale on 2 of our vitamins. These vitamins might be mentioned today. I don't know. There's the Dr. Rogers Stress Relief and the Dr. Rogers Immune Complex, both $10 off. You can check that out online only. So this is not in the office, only online. So if this is something that is interesting to you or you're already taking them, you can take advantage of that sale on the website. There's a QR code there. If you go to performancemedicine.net, should be pretty easy to navigate. No code needed. You can just click on the product. All right, Doc is getting ready. All right, we're going to rock out. We're going to rock out. Roel, I'm sorry, man. Yeah, they did not look great. Dallas had a rough one. My fantasy team had a rough week. Lynn K. Lynn, I see you. I like that. Hypothyroid, I like it. We'll get to that in just a minute. Let's bring Doc in. Doc, ready to roll? What's going on, man?
Hey, Ben, how are you?
I am wonderful. I'm excited to do the show with you. We had Andy on last week. He did such an amazing job. If anybody in the comments, were you there for Andy's episode last week? He did amazing. He's coming on once a month. But I'm excited to get to see your face, man.
Yeah, I'm excited to see your hair. I mean, your face.
I had
You're some long hair.
I had a feeling I would get a hair comment from you tonight. In
I
addition,
got my hair cut. Did you know?
I know you're looking classy. I'm not looking the classiest at the moment. I've got to.
You look good.
I got to shore it up a bit. But how was your day? How's it going?
We had a great day at the office. Wonderful. We had a great day. How about you?
It was wonderful. I'm in North Knox right now. A little rainy here in East Tennessee. I don't know how it is over there in Texas where Roel is, and hopefully everything's okay. I know you guys have had some weather stuff recently. Doc, are you ready to get into some of the questions?
I am. Yeah.
All right, let's rock it. Dave, I see you, man. What's going on, brother? Great to see you. Okay. I love this one because this is a common question we get around the Dr. Rogers supplements. Are there any supplements that should not be taken in addition to Dr. Rogers Super Vitamin? Obviously, there's a lot in the super vitamins. So vitamins like, your D3K2, magnesium, berberine, stress, pain, aging, energy, or immune formulas. What's your thoughts around this? And I'm going to put this up to as a kind of an addition. Would it be okay to take all of these together, or is it better to spread them out through the day? So I believe they're talking about taking the super as well as the D3K2, the magnesium. What's your thoughts?
I mean, I'll take all those, but really the reason I started making or having these folks in Oregon put these together for me was so that I didn't have to take so many different pills. So, the super vitamin, it has the D3K2, 5,000 D3 with K2 in it. So you certainly don't need to take an extra one of those unless your levels on your blood work are low. Some people have to take more than 5,000 D with K. But you're getting your methylated B complex. You're getting your good form of vitamin C. You're getting plenty of A. You're getting your good form of natural E. You're getting zinc, your copper, your manganese, your boron, some iodine. You're getting lycopene. You're getting horsetail. What else is in it? It's pretty packed. But I also take other vitamins. Like I take magnesium at night. And I do spread mine out. Like on the super vitamin, to get that much in it, there's 3 smaller tablets. So what I do is take 2 with lunch. I don't eat breakfast, so I take 2 with lunch and 1 with dinner. And there's selenium's in there too. That's one I left out, which is a really good thing you need, especially if you have thyroid problems. But So you didn't throw the rest of those up. Throw the rest of that question up again, and I'll look at the so the magnesium you need to take separately at night. Berberine, you need to take that separately as well. There's no berberine in the
And
multi.
by separately, you're not saying like with, take 2 hours in between. You're saying just take in addition to.
In addition to, yeah. But
Okay.
and generally on berberine, if you're taking it just to maintain once a day is probably fine. Again, it is a dihydroberberine, which is the more potent form. If you're trying to lose weight, then you need to take it twice a day, 30 minutes before the two major meals of the day. Stress formula, if you need that, you can take it daily. You can take it twice a day. You can take it as needed before a stressful event. The pain, I take that every night. I take that with my dinner as well. Aging, I take it night because before I go to bed with my magnesium because it has apigenin in it, and I think it helps me sleep. But the energy I take in the morning on an empty stomach. Immune formula, I just take the immune formula when think I'm going to be traveling or if I don't feel too good, which isn't too often. I feel good most of the time. So so I don't take that on a daily basis. But anyway, I hope that answers your question. There's nothing that you really are contraindicated, but the main, if you could take one vitamin, it'd be the super multi.
Yeah.
But I'm like you, I take a lot. I take other stuff too because I want to age well, and I consider these supplements as part of my nutrition plan. I just do.
It's such a great question, and we're going to get into. We got a few more questions around that, but first, I want to get to this one. How can I help? How can I best help my friend? He is 54 years old, 350 pounds, and on a multitude of medications. He recently had an aortic calcium screening, and his score was over 9,000, and he has a congenital heart murmur. The heart murmur can't be addressed until he loses weight. I have the impression that he's totally overwhelmed, depressed, and needs direction. How urgent is the heart issue? How can I best help him? Well, one, thank you for bringing this up and trying to help your friend.
Yeah,
This is
that's
a great
very
question.
honorable that you would do that, and that friend needs help. Um, and he's a good functional medicine doctor and a cardiologist. One thing, something stood out to me. Number one, he probably had a coronary calcium screening, not an aortic calcium screening. Aortic stenosis is different than a cardiac calcium screening. And the score over 9,000, incredibly high. I had one a month or two ago that was 6,600, which is the highest I'd ever seen. So over 9,000 is, it's not like you need to go to the emergency room tonight because of that, but you need to see a cardiologist and get further testing, like a thallium treadmill test, or maybe even an angiogram, and look and see what the blockage looks like, because your friend has problems. He also needs a Cleveland heart panel. He's probably diabetic, and he needs to. Put the next sentence down there. He has a murmur. The heart murmur can't be addressed until he loses weight, which I don't understand. I don't know why he can't have an echocardiogram to assess the murmur. He also needs that. At least he needs a stress echocardiogram as part of the workup. So I'm sure he is overwhelmed, depressed, and needs direction. I'm glad you're there for him. But he definitely needs a couple of good doctors. One is a good primary care doctor, preferably a functional medicine doctor like we do, who will look at all the other numbers, like he needs an A1C, an insulin level, a CRP. He needs to look at all his vitamin levels. He needs to look at his hormone levels. I wish he could get a Cleveland heart panel. So, and it's true. The number one thing he needs to do is probably lose weight for his survival. And I would have no hesitation about putting him on Ozempic or Mounjaro, unless he had some issues precluding that. But that could literally be a lifesaver and a way to return to normal. So that patient is in dire straits with longevity. The person's not going to live long unless somebody intervenes in a major way soon. Not tonight, but soon. So hopefully that patient will take it seriously, because that's a hugely high corneal calcium scoring.
As a friend, it seems that they're speaking at, from a friend's perspective. How can they, how do they have that conversation? Is that because I know, you as a doctor can be very direct in scenarios like this. How would you kind of advise a friend to have a conversation like that with somebody they care about?
Yeah, I mean, always tactfully, but with kind of a tactful, forceful way of getting that patient to cooperate with seeing somebody that can really get to the bottom of it, and put that person on some medications that will help, because that person cannot do this on their own. They just simply can't. It's impossible. They have to intervene, even if it takes an intervention type setting. But if that's a good friend, they will appreciate it. I mean, if they went to the trouble of getting a heart scan, then they look like they would cooperate. I can't imagine them not. So just make the appropriate, get the appropriate blood test and referral to a cardiologist for further workup.
Amazing question. Thank you so much for being that friend and sending in that question for us. I hope that helps a little bit. Let's get to a melatonin question. My melatonin is 3 milligrams per capsule. Would it be safe to take 2 capsules for an overnight flight to help with sleep? So that's 6 milligrams. What's your thoughts on this?
Of course. Yeah, of course it can. But I always caution patients, do that before you get on the plane. I mean, never get on a plane and take some new dose or some new something. So try it out at home. 6 milligrams is not a high dose at all. I mean, I have some people that take unbelievable amounts of melatonin at night. So yeah, that's a low dose. You might even want to go 3, 6, 10, maybe even 10 milligram.
I like that. Do this before you get on the flight. Kind of get your body. Make sure you respond well to it before.
Yeah, which you will.
All right, this is one around me. Last week I was a little under the weather. What were Ben's supplements and dosages for his immune system ramp up that he mentioned last week? What I did was I took a 1 vitamin D injection, which is 50,000 IUs of D. I did 2 B12 shots that week. And I was also on, I did a super, so just 3 supers, which is 1 serving, and then 2 quercetin max. And I also, what else did I do? I also got on a Z-Pack.
Yeah, that's right. You started really getting the sinus infection. So
yeah, so I did all that. The question is around, would love to do something similar for an upcoming long flight. We're getting a couple questions around this. What would you kind of suggest?
The other thing you should have done, and I think I told you to do it, but especially if you're traveling on flight, going on a cruise, take some ivermectin.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
Yeah, I'm big on ivermectin for a lot of reasons. That's one of those very safe, Nobel Prize winning, although controversial topics because of COVID. Yeah, I would always take, I would take it prophylactically personally, a couple times a week on a trip. Or if I started getting sick, immediately get on it.
So what would you
can get it over the counter now, so that's great. And I'd up my D, I'd up my C, I'd make sure I'm still taking my zinc, and the quercetin, like you mentioned, and the immune supplement that we have would be a good one for you.
Now, would you do the immune and take zinc separately, or would you get?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Just don't go over 100 milligrams of zinc.
Okay.
And take it with food.
Do you ever take the immune and the super, or do you just replace?
Sure. No, I still take the super every day.
Okay. The immune. Yeah. Katie's saying the immune. Yeah. So the immune plus super go up on C. You can still take more C. And then up on D as well. Cool. I hope that helps a little bit.
Get in a sauna if you can, sweat, get out in the sun, walk around. Don't overdo the workout, but walk and get out in fresh air. People that get in fresh air get better.
All right. Thank you. I believe that does it for the questions that came in throughout the week. We're going to go to live questions now. So if you have a question for Doc, go ahead and put it in the comments. And if I missed you, I apologize. I kind of have an eye on my email as well. So if you sent in an email, you can remind me, and I'll be able to kind of tell that it came through. All right, let's get going here. Let's go to Mama B's place. Hello back. Dr. Rogers and I had a conversation about nasal dilators when I was in the office. This is a reminder to inform of which magnetic dilator is best. Appreciate you all greatly. We appreciate you back.
Yeah, I'm in the process of, I've ordered one. Katie may be able to pop it up there, which one I told her to order me. But that, I've tried the strips, I've tried the inside of the nasal thing, which work, but the inside of the nasal devices kind of irritate the inside of my nostrils. So, I've kind of shied away from them. I've just ordered that one with the magnets on it that supposedly works way better without all the sticky stuff that's hard to get off your nose in the morning. But if we don't have the answer tonight, if Katie can't remember where she ordered that company from, then I'll call the office tomorrow and we'll find out for sure. But yeah, that's interesting. Apparently you get way more expansion of your nasal flares by this magnet without the sticky residue that usually comes. It's hard to get off in the mornings, and it's supposed to be like up to 33% more breathing. And remember, you need to turn, if you're a mouth breather, you need to turn into a nose breather. So which nasal? Yeah, all of them.
All of them. Okay.
You can use inside or outside with a CPAP for sure.
Okay.
I do.
Cool. All right, yeah. Mama Bees, thank you for getting us going here. You guys can go ahead and put in a question for Dr. Rogers. We're going to get to every single one today. Let's see where I'm at. Let's go to Lynn K. Lynn over on YouTube. Hello, any data on hypothyroid treatment? On MP now, and with weight loss, original doc wants to lower it. Can you have eye issues even with treatment due to thyroid? Should I get an antibody test?
Yeah, the answer is yes to all that. Okay. I'm glad you're losing weight, and certainly sometimes you can reduce your dosage if you lose weight. But look at the numbers and also check your body temperature. The numbers aren't as important as the body temperature, and certainly, the normal limits are wide. So, you want to get a dose that you feel great on, that your body temperature is normal. I had a lady yesterday who's first time in her life she hasn't been cold because I put her on NP. Now, I do prefer NP over Armour. There's less fillers in it. It's cheaper. So make sure if you're going to a pharmacy and the doctor writes for NP that they're not giving you Armour. They're giving you NP. I prefer it. Way over Synthroid and levothyroxine. But yeah, so you look at your free T3. I always like to look at antibodies. The most common form of hypothyroidism is Hashimoto's thyroiditis, and you need to know if you have that because you need zinc and selenium, and I follow those levels, and sometimes I'll even use things like LDN, low dose naltrexone, to help tamp down that immune response. Again, that's usually an autoimmune disease. If you have eye issues, it's usually more hyperthyroidism, not hypo, and it's usually after being untreated for a period of time. So, hopefully you don't have eye issues from what you have. So, but great questions, and yes to all those.
Lynn K. Lynn, thank you so much for that question. I'm going to put this up for Mama B's place. Thank you, Katie, for taking care of this. It's called Intake breathing. So hopefully Mama B is seeing that. Intake breathing is the one that they ordered today. Thank you, Katie, for jumping in there. Okay, let's go to, let's see who's next. Where am I at? Sorry, guys. Let's go to Edna. Can you take the pain formula more than once a day?
You can. It's 2 pills in a normal dose, so you can spread them out. I just take mine both together. I've had people do 4, and they do fine. I mean, no problem with it. I usually recommend taking it with food, but usually two work really well. I've been really happy with that pain formula.
Are you taking 2 together?
Yeah, I take
Okay.
2 at night. I
Okay.
do when I get home and take them with dinner. But yeah, that formula has been so popular. I'm afraid we're going to sell out soon. Sometimes it takes a while to make it up for me. So I'm not even sure we have any left online or not. Katie could probably answer that. Hopefully we do. But I really like our pain formula. If you look at the ingredients in there, there's a lot of other reasons to be taking that for a lot of other beneficial reasons. So.
Thank you, Edna. I hope that helps a little bit. Let's get to Stan. What are some natural remedies for lowering blood pressure?
Great question. Berbeриne's probably my favorite. Berberine really has a great effect on lowering blood pressure, lowering your sugar levels, your A1C, and your cholesterol. It's very favorable for your lipids. So it's kind of a good one for metabolic syndrome. So that's my favorite. I like hawthorn. I like garlic, aged garlic pills. Those are some of my favorite ones. There's a lot of people that claim that their supplements may lower blood pressure, but those have been the main ones that I have used. And again, don't freak out. People a lot of times freak out about their blood pressure when it's not really that high. Number one, when you go in the doctor's office, sometimes you have white coat syndrome. It's just higher there than it's going to be at home. So don't freak out. Make sure you have your own blood pressure cuff and check it at home and in different situations. But when I came out of medical school way over 40 years ago, 140 over 90 was normal. Again, the cholesterol of 300 was normal when I came out of medical school. Now they're just lowering it. I think sometimes ridiculously. But so then they came around and said, well, it needs to be below 120 over 80 or below. The problem is some people get it too low. They get orthostatic. They get dizzy when they sit up. So a recent study came out and said that anything below 140 over 90 was just as good as below 120 over 80. There may be people that take issue with that, but so don't freak out if your blood pressure is hovering around 130 over 85. Just do the normal stuff like you might consider a supplement, or better yet, eat right, exercise, lose weight, get good sleep, see if you don't have sleep apnea, that type of thing. That's a major cause of hypertension, undiagnosed sleep apnea.
So interesting. We've been talking a lot about sleep apnea recently.
I'm convinced most older people have sleep apnea.
Yeah.
I'm just convinced of it. I'm starting to get a lot of home studies on people, which are very accurate. I love doing it. I mean, if I have it, I'm skinny. I used to think sleep apnea is just obese people, or Pickwickian, we used to call it, or big, thick necks, or short chins, but it can affect anybody. I think as you get older, the musculature in your upper airways get weakened. And there's a lot of things. Ernie and I are looking into ways to strengthen the muscles of your upper airway. It's going to be very interesting. If there's a way that you could really get to the cause of it and cure it by exercises, or what the Inspire treatment does. It just stimulates the back of your tongue. Pull it forward when it falls to the back of your throat and occludes your airway. So that's kind of how it works. I'm always looking at new ways to treat sleep apnea.
Let's see. Tom, neck size is 20 inches, tested negative for it years ago. I'm putting this up because Dr. Moss came on and said, I think he mentioned, 17 inches and over is kind of where you want to, start looking at it. That's super interesting, Tom. Thank you for putting this in there, because neck size is
Mhm.
it's
It
not
is.
necessarily a rule, but it is definitely an indicator of someone who could have
Yeah.
sleep
A
apnea.
lot of it, I think, depends on too whether you try to sleep on your back or your side.
Yeah.
It's better to sleep on your back, and that's what the nasal CPAP has allowed me to do. I have way less back pain now than I used to have sleeping on my stomach and partial on my side. I was twisting and turning all night and probably occluding my nasal passages and wrenching my back. I'm really sleep way better now that I can sleep on my back because I'm breathing through my nose.
Do you think you'll be on a CPAP forever?
Um, that's hard to think. Like Dr. Moss was saying, I think something better will come along. I honestly do.
Okay. Okay.
But for right now, it's a major good thing for me and most of my patients that I put on it. Still, the adherence rate at 1 year is still only 50% on CPAP, which is interesting.
That's super
I
interesting.
mean, yeah.
Thank you, Stan, for teeing us up on that. Thank you, Tom, for the comment. I see SD Bestie's in here. Jasmine, what's going on? Our esthetician in West Knoxville. Thank you so much for the latest Glow Up episode on dermaplaning. If you guys haven't checked it out, check it out. I want to get to Wilma here. Can cancer patients use loose? I'm assuming this is allulose.
Allulose, the artificial sweetener, yeah.
I'm assuming.
They can, yeah.
If I
Yeah, allulose, which is my favorite artificial sweetener, won't affect your blood sugars. So I'd say fine. But do not use xylitol or erythritol. And certainly don't use any of the others. Stevia, maybe. Monk fruit, maybe. Local honey that is, non-filtered is really good. I use that every day. But yeah, I had a good discussion today with one of my good patients, Dan, that everybody knows. He's done some podcasts with me about fenbendazole.
Yep.
Knock on wood, still doing great. And,
it's amazing.
Has some great stories. He's ended up doing a lot. He and his wife are really doing a lot for people with cancer to help them. And so far, they've had about, according to what he told me today, about 30 people that they know that are still walking around the earth because of Fenben. They're convinced of it, including one patient with pancreatic cancer like 6 years ago. Had it surgerized and it came back, and they said there was nothing they can do. Got on Fenben, and he's doing great. But again, don't take that as a comment from me. Everybody should get on Fenben for pancreatic cancer or anything by that. I'm just telling you some things that I've noticed through the years. And Dan Bolton certainly is a cancer survivor himself, and credits that along with the traditional treatment. I always recommend that. So, don't go saying Dr. Rogers claimed that this is all you need for cancer. Please always speak to your doctor. And
yes, it's definitely not what we're saying here. And thank you for sharing that story with Dan. He is such an inspiration to so many people, and he's been so I feel like just giving back to the
he and his wife actually, they purchased the Fenben and sent it to people who can't afford it.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. I want to put this up from Sandy real quick because it's kind of along the lines with the CPAP, sleep apnea talk we just our last topic here. How do you know if you need one?
You get a sleep study.
Okay.
You get a sleep study. That's the only way you're going to know. And then it measures how many hypopneic episodes you have during the night where your oxygen concentration goes below a certain level. And my Oura Ring clued me into that I was having that. And certainly when I got the home sleep study, which are easy now, I think they're going to put the sleep labs out of business, or at least a lot of them. There's still a need for some sleep lab studies for central and all that, but I find that we can treat it just as well. If it's obstructive sleep apnea, which it mostly is, with this at home ring you put on. It's incredible how accurate it is, and how we can get somebody started on CPAP, or maybe another option, like maybe taping your mouth, or
Yeah.
there's an Inspire treatment that's more complex. I wouldn't do it unless I really needed to, but anyway, don't hesitate to get a sleep study, a home sleep study, and that's the way the only way you're gonna know, really, unless it's obvious.
Thank you, Ivy, for helping Sandy out there, and also there is if you want to watch the podcast we've done on the home sleep studies, just that whole home sleep study versus going in for a more traditional sleep study. There's needs for both. Doc does a good job of kind of talking about the differences and why you chose to do a home sleep study. Okay, let's keep going here. Thank you for that question, Sandy. Let's go to Caesar. Thank you, Caesar, and then I'll get to Lisa. Sorry, Lisa. Any recommendations for psoriasis? Mom has been going to doc for a year now and still struggling with this condition. Caesar, I hope we can help here. I believe Caesar's in Texas. What's going on?
Well, that's another autoimmune disorder, and that's usually have plaques on the extensor surfaces of your elbows, knees, but it can be all over you. It can be quite severe, sometimes debilitating. Here's Ike wanting to get up here already. The show's not over yet. Okay. He wants to get on screen, but yeah. So a lot of times, if the topical steroids aren't working, which usually they don't work long term for plaque psoriasis. You can always go to the more heavy hitters that you see on TV all the time. Those are heavy hitting, expensive, immune blockers. Really, is what they do. But they're effective. They really are. There's certain things you need to monitor when you're on them. But there's some other things you can do as well that before you may have to get on something like Cell-Jam or one of those, or Skyrizi or Humira, that group of biologic drugs, they call them. And that's number one. Look at your diet. Look at the diet, because if you get on an autoimmune diet and avoid inflammatory foods, with arthritis as well, sometimes really will help tampen it down. An anti-inflammatory diet, start out with eliminating sugar, gluten, dairy, soy, corn, maybe nightshades, that type of thing, and making sure your gut is working well. Anybody I see that has a problem with these kind of autoimmune issues usually has a gut problem too that probably caused it. But the other thing I use a lot of as far as a prescription medicine is low-dose naltrexone, which I mentioned before. I use that a lot for any autoimmune disease, whether it be Hashimoto's or psoriasis, eczema, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis. A lot of these things overlap. Yeah. And it seems to be just a wonderful, safe prescription medication. Talk to the doctor who knows something about it. But I love LDN. I'm sure the dermatologist, if you're not getting anywhere with it, it's going to put you on something like Skyrizi or some of these Cell-Jam, I think's the name of it. I don't prescribe them. You're gonna have to go to Derm and do that through your insurance because they're heavy hitter, expensive medications.
I'm going to put this up from Denise. I always love her comments, especially around stuff like this. So thank you, Denise, for being here as always. Psoriasis can be resolved with an antifungal diet and a good antifungal. Important to mycotoxin binder. I hope I pronounced that right, Denise. Resolve the emotional conflict of a double separation anxiety. I love that. Thank you, Denise, for putting that comment.
I don't know what double separation anxiety is. I need to look that one up. Denise is always throwing these big words at me that I'm not sure what they are, but yeah, I mean, you need to look at it from, there's always two angles, more medicinal, more herbal, and they both work, but it's certainly true that you need to look at for metals and heavy metals, and of course mycotoxins. Lyme can set it off. I mean, there's going to be a variety of things, and parasites that we always talk about with Denise. Very, very important. So there's a lot of angles. There's a lot of different ways to treat these things. And, I would always tend towards more natural stuff if you can. But some people have it so severe they have to get on these heavy hitters. But I did have one lady recently that had been on methotrexate and Humira for both rheumatoid arthritis and lupus. She had both autoimmune conditions, and she didn't like them. She felt terrible on them, so I put her on LDN. She's been in remission for like 2 years.
It's amazing. That is
along
amazing.
With a better diet as well. But,
thank you, Caesar, for that question. I hope that helps a little bit. Thank you, Denise, for the comment. I'm going to put this up. I see Dr. Creech is in here, and Dr. Creech did such an amazing job talking about this. If you guys have not checked out this episode, please do. She just goes through the history of fluoride and talks about some alternatives if people want to go more of a natural route. So thank you, Dr. Creech, for hanging out with us tonight and doing the show.
That was a great podcast. We had a lot of fun.
Really,
don't just read the note on that one. Let's just actually listen to the episode, because there's a lot of good dental pointers out, as I like to call them. A lot of
she even talked about picking out toothpaste and like just very practical stuff that we all have to do every single day. So definitely, I agree. Don't just look at the note.
Root canals, how a cavity forms. Is in the history of fluoride, which I didn't know the exact history of it, and why those kids in Colorado were getting brown teeth and all, but no cavities. But it's a good podcast to listen to.
Cool.
That's the single best episode that we've done on as far as dental stuff. I think.
No doubt. No doubt. Thank you, Dr. Creech, for doing that with us. Lisa, thank you so much for patience with me. I'm sorry I missed you. Hi, Dr. Rogers and Ben.
I wish I was down at. Hey, Lisa. I wish I was at Hilton Head right now.
Me too. I actually just got back. I was there for Labor Day. So I hope you're having a blast, Lisa. And I hope we can help out a little bit. I'm 100% certain I've broken my left big toe. What can I do for some relief while I'm at Hilton Head Island? Dang it, Lisa.
There's a great bar you can head to tonight and drink heavily. I'm kidding, Lisa. But you might want to go to what's that place that we like down in Hilton Head Bend? Man, it's right down in Coligny. Oh gosh, they have all these kind of flavors. Frosty Frog. Yeah, head down to the Frosty Frog and have something that has tequila in it. Totally kidding, Lisa. That's not.
Yes, we're kidding, Lisa.
That is not good medical advice.
No.
First thing, you probably did break your big toe. I've broken mine too, and I finally got it X-rays. It was broken, but unless it's angled out or just pointed to it, it's out of line, then they're not going to do much about it. One thing I always tell people to do is buddy tape it to the next toe. Stick it in ice water, several times a day. Ice can really help that. I'm certainly not against you taking ibuprofen for some of the relief. I think ice water does a great job with it too. Elevate it. Avoid walking around too much. That's just a toughie. It's going to be sore for a while. If there's any question on how bad it is, if it's shattered or something, it's probably not. But if it is, then you need to get it X-rayed. But gosh, that's a toughie. I hope it doesn't ruin your vacation. One time I was at Hilton Head and I just bought this pair of 5-toed shoes. They're flat and your toes fit in these. It looks like a sock. It's actually a shoe with a rubber outer on it, and it's supposed to be more friendly for your feet. To walk around in it. So I took a new pair down there and I started doing wind sprints on the beach.
Big mistake.
I couldn't walk for like 3 days at Hilton Head. I literally could not walk, could not ride my bike because of that. But get it nice, elevate it, take some ibuprofen, go down, send somebody down to Frosty Frog, if they can.
Still have a good
Right.
time, Lisa.
Yeah.
Thank you and thank you for being with us while you're down there. I hope you have such a good time. Hilton Head is such a special place, and I hope the weather's great. But we keep us posted on how your toe's doing. I hope that helps a little bit. Let's get back to YouTube here from DPC. Thank you, DPC, for being here. Can LDN be used long-term versus over-the-counter pain meds for arthritis and or
Yes.
chronic pain?
Yeah. It's a long-term medication. It's not for acute pain.
Mm.
Yeah, you sure
Super
can.
interesting.
It's meant to be a long-term medication. Very safe.
Thank you, DPC, for
Talk
that.
to your doctor
Yes.
or
Yes.
some doctor that knows something about it, because it is a prescription medicine.
Linda, I hope I'm going to read this right. Keep getting red spots on my arms and hands. 77 years old. Any thoughts around this, Doc? Have you seen this in office? Red spots, I believe, are like aging spots.
No,
What's your
red
thoughts?
spots are usually not aging spots. Those are usually more darker, brownish. You know, a lot of times red spots are just little tiny dots, like that's a cherry angioma that can kind of come up. If it's large red splotches, it may be something different. You know, so it's hard to say if they're new, if they're itchy, if they hurt. You know, it have to be something you need to actually visualize to kind of take a look at it and see if, you know, cherry angiomas don't go away. That's just a little tiny blood blister. And that's very common as you get older. I have a few on me. But red splotches, it could be some kind of a reaction to something. You need to have some doctor that sees some stuff, that knows what a rash is, different kind of rashes, to look at it and see. So that's a hard one to answer without actually looking at it.
Linda, if we need some context, let me know. I'll be on the lookout for you. Until then, let's go to. I saw a great comment that I wanted to put up for our sleep apnea. Thank you, Mama B. There we go. Google a certain way to chew when you eat called mewing. Mewing will strengthen the muscles of your upper airway. We're going to mark that down, Mama B's place, and Google mewing. That's super cool.
I'll be doing it tonight. I'll be mewing tonight.
There we go. And there's the home sleep study for those who want to check that out. Let's see. We're going to keep going here. If you have a question for Doc, put in the comments. If I missed you, maybe give me a little reminder. Let's see. I see Lynn K. Lynn has one around blood pressure. 172/78 to 135/57 blood pressure range for a family member in 90s. Just put on 25 atenolol. Atenolol, but it's not enough to stabilize using natural supplements too. Any other ideas? Does have an artery block in neck. Any thoughts on this for Lynn K. Lynn?
Yeah, apparently the family members in their 90s, right?
Yep. That's the way I'm reading it.
The problem with getting too aggressive with blood pressure in somebody that's in that decade of life is that you have this wide pulse pressure. You see the difference in those numbers between the systolic and diastolic. It's very wide, and that's because stiff arteries. But so the top number, when your heart beats and it expands your blood, that's the systolic, the top number. It's the pressure when the blood is the fullest in your artery, and when it relaxes, that's your lower number, your diastolic. So it's normal to get a wider pulse pressure as you age, and that's the difficulty with treating, elderly people with hypertension. If it mostly stays in the 135 to 57 range, that's fine. But if it gets up to 170, 72, again, it's not a freak out number. It depends on what it's doing most of the time. I wish you could get a 24-hour blood pressure monitor. Is hard to find. They just don't have them. They're almost non-existent. But this depends on how they're doing. They're using supplements. Berberine is certainly my favorite. Like I said before, then I like aged garlic peels. They're pretty good. Atenolol is not my favorite choice because it's a beta blocker and tends to make you tired, and it can slow your heart rate down. I mean, maybe they have tachycardia. Maybe that's the reason they chose it. But I certainly wouldn't use a diuretic. If I was to use some, it'd probably be an ARB, an angiotensin, like a 25 milligram of a losartan or something like that. I think it'd be safer than, unless there's some other conditions that I don't know about with her case. Rely on your doctor. But sometimes you can certainly overtreat an elderly person's blood pressure, and then they stand up, fall, break a hip, and they're gone. So, just get an average blood pressure and make sure the average is a little bit lower than that 172. Like I said, in that age group, 150 top doesn't bother me much. It just doesn't.
That's super interesting. Thank you, Lynn K. Lynn, for putting that in there for your family member there. I hope that helps a little bit. I'm going to put this up from Tom. How's the doc's back doing? So give us an update.
Thank you for asking, Tom.
Yeah, what's going on?
Better. It's doing better. Again, maybe it's a pain formula I'm taking for a month. I think it's certainly helped me. I'm sleeping on my back now that I have CPAP. I'm doing a lot of different exercise for my back now. And I'm actually trying to do a lot of stuff Ernie's taught me and that I've been reading about. I actually, believe it or not, I actually went down the track and I'm starting to do a little sprinting. My goal is to be able to sprint fast because I haven't been able to in the last several years, many years, because of my back. It hurts too bad to run fast. I don't want to run a 5K or anything longer. I just want to be able to sprint at times because I think that's a great way to build your posterior chain up and to really be functional, is to be able to sprint short distances. So, well, I appreciate that. Thank you, Tom. Yeah, it's definitely doing better.
Yeah.
My back is it's really doing better. And I still get on my teeter board twice a day, hang upside down, and I hang, do dead hangs from my chin up bar as well. And I'm doing a lot of stretching.
I agree with this, Tom. Worst thing you could do is nothing. I completely agree. Walking is incredible.
Yeah, walking even, I'm starting to do a little backward walking.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've tried that or not, Tom, but it's good for your knees too. So I've been purposely trying to walk backwards, and I'm probably going to purchase a treadmill that has no motor on it, that you generate your own power. That's especially good for backward walking. I've always been backward in everything I did, so why not walk backwards? That was a joke, Ben.
I love it. That was funny. That was funny. Let's get to
Ben never gets my jokes. Ben, he's from a different generation. He didn't think I'm funny at all.
I think you're hysterical. I
Katie,
think
Carter, none of them think I'm funny.
I think you're
only
funny.
The old people think I'm funny.
Rhonda is asking, I have a friend that is 29 years old and has PMDD. They have started her on birth control to try and help her, but so far it's not helped yet. Do you know anything she could do to help? What's your thoughts on this?
Dysphoria. I'm not, I like birth control pills for one reason. Well, two reasons. One, birth control. Two, regulation of terrible periods. But, there's other things you can do, like, number one, if the periods are normal, which at 29, they should be pretty much 28-day cycles. On the week before the cycle, cut out all alcohol, cut salt back, cut caffeine back, and exercise and sweat a lot. The other thing I use a lot for that is a little natural progesterone in the last half of the period. For the last 10 days after ovulation, and stop it when the period comes on. So I use a lot of bioidentical progesterone for that. A lot of people use either birth control or SSRI antidepressant medications, which is shown some efficacy. I just don't like to use them unless I have to, because I don't like the possible side effects, except, like I say, for birth control and regulation of terrible periods that are useful. But so maybe look into progesterone, get some levels checked, and certainly do those things as well.
Oh, there we go.
And talk to Robin Riddle about some of this stuff. She's amazing with it. She probably has some other ideas that I don't know about, but certainly tuning up the diet really well. And like Denise said, look at emotions and things like that. There may be some other underlying factors that you need to look at. You always try to get to the root cause of the problem.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's both hormonal and can be somewhat psychological as well.
Rhonda, thank you so much for putting this question in for your friend. I hope that helps a little bit. As a team, the team put up the episode with Robin Riddle on birth control. That's a great resource. And really anything that Robin's put out on our channel with Explain This is phenomenal. There's another one right there. Thank you, team. Okay, let's keep moving. I see a question around blood pressure with DPC. There we go. Is 110/60 blood pressure considered low? Still okay to take berberine for lowering cholesterol? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, 110/60 is fine. The only time I'll worry is if it drops when you stand up. So make sure it doesn't drop. 110/60 is probably when you're sitting down. If you stand up and it gets to be 90/40, then I really worry a little bit. You have orthostatic hypotension. In that case, you need to eat more salt, and you may not want to take berberine. Berberine is a pretty potent medicine for people that aren't diabetic, that have a little hypoglycemia or tendency that don't eat carbs. Sometimes you can lower your sugars too much of berberine. I think berberine is a great medication. So for the vast majority of people, it's good. So you can certainly try it. I don't think it's going to affect your blood pressure adversely. It's interesting to see. It'd be nice to check your cortisol levels as well and see what, people that have cortisol problems sometimes have really low blood pressure. But lower, again, a lot of people freak out about their cholesterol levels. I don't freak out about cholesterol too much. I think your body needs cholesterol. A lot of it depends on the makeup of your lipid panel. That's why we get the Cleveland panel, the ApoB, the LP(a). A lot of factors. I really worry more about insulin resistance than I do cholesterol. Don't freak out if you say, "Oh, my cholesterol is 230." That doesn't mean anything to me. You need to look at the particle size, look at the ApoB, and there's a lot of other factors. So it'd be interesting to see how you feel with a blood pressure like that. That's a good blood pressure. So if you're taking berberine, you may not need to take berberine.
Thank you, DPC, for that. I hope that helps a little bit. I'm going to put this up. Sandy's such a sweet comment. Thank you for that around the vitamins and Digest Shield. Huge shout out to Digest Shield, Shield Nutraceuticals. All right. Thank you, Tom. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Very cool. The statin conversations are always interesting, and because I know it's definitely I know there's people that definitely need them, and I think the way you talk about it's so interesting, Doc, because it is such a case by case basis.
Yeah, I agree with you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom. All right, I think that does it for the questions. If I miss somebody, let me know. I apologize. I see Roel here has an Assault Fitness motorless treadmill. It is that's the one that you're talking about. That's cool.
Woo. That is awesome. That is awesome.
I love it. How'd we do, guys? Out of 10. We're going to be back next week. I see Alice. Alice, I see you. Thank you, team. We've got this sale going on. If you guys haven't checked it out, we got $10 off on both the Dr. Rogers Stress Relief and the Dr. Rogers Immune Complex. You can go take advantage of that on the vitamin store on performancemedicine.net or hit that code, that QR code. Thank you, team, for that, putting that up there for us. Let's see. All right. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Coal Miner's daughter. Thank you, Lynn K. Lynn. Chuck, What's going on, Chuck? Great to see you. Alice, man, Alice has given us a 20.
Oh,
That's
man.
it. That's incredible.
That's the highest score we've ever had.
That's incredible. Thank you, Alice. Do we got dogs? Michelle, thank you.
We just had Ike up here. You missed him.
We missed Ike.
Yeah, I'll try to get Izzy up here if you want to see her.
I tell you what. There's Izzy.
It's Ike. This
That's
is
Ike.
Ike. Yeah.
Ike is just loving the camera tonight.
Ike is a camera hound tonight. Here's little Izzy. I think I need to start Izzy on a little Berberine.
Thank you, DPC. That means the world to us. We honestly, we really, really appreciate that comment. That means a ton to us. This is one of there's Izzy right there. Look at Izzy. She's a cutie. You're a cutie, Izzy.
Definitely a cutie. She's been chewing on her rugs tonight again, Ben. So
this is one of those things. We love this part of our week. We do this every single Tuesday, 7 to 8. If you guys haven't put it together, this is my dad. I get to hang out with him every single Tuesday night. I get to hang out with my brother on the show once a month. So thank you guys for being here. If you guys don't come, we wouldn't get to do it. So thank you for continuing to come out for the live show and asking these amazing questions. Thank you for Dr. Creech was in here. I saw Dr. Salmons was in here. We have so many amazing minds to help out. Katie Carter, Jasmine was in here tonight. We love you guys. Doc, I love you, man. Thank you. That's right.
Man.
Mini Birdodoodle. Mini. It's definitely not a mini.
They are minis. Yeah.
They're minis.
They're minis. Yeah, they sure are. They're big though. Yeah.
When I see Ike in person, I don't think miniature.
That's what we purchased was miniature.
Pop, I love you, man. Thank you for doing it.
Good job tonight.
Guys, we will be back next week, Tuesday, 7 to 8. Go check out the store, performancemedicine.net. Let's put that up one more time, team. Where is it at? There we go. Check that out. It is happening all week long. Performancemedicine.net, $10 off the stress relief and the immune complex. Check it out. We love you. We will see you guys next week. Thanks, Pop.